Tackle football is really a man's game. And it's incredibly dangerous to the developing brain. We're trying to tell that story to parents through science.
Turbo's on 3.
1, 2,
Get in
3,
here.
turbo!
Right now we are shooting a 30-second video called Where There's Smoke. It is a controversial concept, but we now have the data that shows that playing youth tackle football and developing CT is correlated in a very similar way to smoking and developing lung cancer. Chris Nowinski, co-founder and CEO of the Concussion Legacy Foundation. Trying to help parents visualize that those two things are equally bad. Letting your kid smoke and letting your kid play tackle football are both bad ideas. The one variable that really seems to be driving your risk of CT is how many years you play.
We are shooting a pretty amazing spot for the Concussion Legacy Foundation.
Angela's been an amazing person to get to know because she's lived it. She's lived the dark side that we're trying to prevent for other families.
I am Angela Campo Harrison. I am a creative at Fingerpaint, and I'm a family ambassador for the Concussion Legacy Foundation. I, unfortunately, I guess, somewhat fortunately, came into contact with the Concussion Legacy Foundation in 2016 when my dad passed away. My dad had been sick and struggling for a long time. I had always kind of suspected his football career had something to do with that. But when he passed away at the age of 65 from complications from severe dementia, I called the Concussion Legacy Foundation and the Boston Brain Bank and got in touch with them and said I wanted to donate his brain. I wanted to see if you guys could give me any answers. In the end, we found that my dad had stage 4 CTE. Joe Campo from Dayton, Ohio. He was an all-star football player, offensive line, defensive line, special teams, all-state. By all accounts, pretty much a badass. Shorter dude, but tough. You know, like people were afraid of him. I mean, he loved the sport. When he started getting sick, it was awful. It was like losing words, or he'd say the wrong word and not even realize it. And it was like, okay, this is not like depression. This is not anxiety, which runs through the family, you know, which I tried to chalk it up to for a long time. Everybody else is fine. What is different? Dad played football. And I had heard about CTE, but for me, it was the only thing I could find that made any sense. He never had a diagnosed concussion, which now we're learning it's not necessarily about the concussions, it's about the volume. It's these little hits that don't really look like anything.
What we found is that your risk of developing CTE goes up 30% every year you play tackle football. It doubles every 2.5 years. And that means that if you choose to put your child in tackle football at 5 instead of 14, their risk is 10 times higher.
Getting involved with the Concussion Legacy Foundation, when I called to say I want to donate my dad's brain, they were amazing. Started talking to McHale, who's like the family liaison for the Concussion Legacy Foundation, and I was like, here's the deal. I don't have $1 bajillion, but I want to find ways to help you. Like, I have the background, I have the experience in healthcare, advertising, writing, the whole thing, and I was like, let me do something for you. Like, how can I help?
She's so passionate about this. When she learned her father had CT, she just said, let me know how I can help. Let me know how I can protect future families from this. She's been giving us creative help along the way, and now she's been able to engage her company to get involved in this issue.
Fingerpaint is a really unique kind of agency in that sense. They have a real commitment to philanthropy, a real commitment to putting their money where their mouth is and actually doing something to help the world. When Angela had this passion, when Angela brought this to us, it was really easy to get it sold, to get us all behind it, and to get whatever resources we really needed to make this happen.
We embrace these kinds of projects and this opportunity to make these kinds of statements. This is actually a very unique situation. I've had some other really amazing things that have happened in my career, but this is very unique.
I feel like there is no other agency that would do what they're doing for this cause. And for me, like personally, as an employee, I mean the same thing with Rebecca, who's directing this, who also lost her father to CTE, which is why she's here, and she's amazing and she's awesome, and I can't believe she's agreed to do this.
I really felt like Angela's story was so moving to me. I was really done with CTE. I was done talking about my father's brain injury. I had worked through it. I had met other families. I was on the other side of it as a daughter. And then Angela came along, And I don't know, there was something heartbreaking for me. And whenever I'm in a situation now where something related to CTE or brain damage in contact sports can move me, then I have to do it. The gap between the delivery of medical services here as the mother of a young athlete and what I'm hearing when I'm attending an international neurology conference is pretty significant. I really feel like protecting our children, until we have more data, there's just no reason why we need to take this particular risk, knowing that those subconcussive blows are happening every play.
I'd had an injury history, so I'd had 2 diagnosed concussions, many more of a similar severity, and then all of the subconcussive hits I endured.
I think it's fascinating here that we have Chris Borland in the video as a referee.
It was brief, my NFL career. I played for 1 year.
Chris Borland actually got a concussion in his rookie year with the San Francisco 49ers. He was a great player.
And while I was playing, I was looking into the ramifications of brain injury and decided after my rookie season to walk away. Football is a sport that requires strength and explosion, and for kids that are 50, 60, 70 pounds, they can't even support their own head with that heavy helmet on it. They're like bobbleheads running around on the field. So I think waiting to play until later is better for the health of young athletes and obviously better for their brains.
We recently had a paper published where we looked at how much your risk of developing CT increases for how long you play. It's one of the many variables. We're trying to understand, why do some people get CT and why do some people not? So you look at that relationship, you go, wow, we have an incredible opportunity to almost eradicate this disease in football if we just stop with the 5-year-olds, the 6-year-olds, the 7-year-olds and wait until high school.
Tackle football is like smoking. The younger I start, the longer I'm exposed to danger.
Pleading to parents, please respect the information, respect the science, and just take the helmet off your kid, give them some flags, and have them go have fun. Football at that age may destroy your child's brain.
People really believe in it, and it's kind of been the perfect storm. Personally, I just feel like no matter what I'm doing, I'm going to be a part of furthering this message. If anybody saw what my family went through, they'd be here right now doing the same thing. There's nothing else I could do, really.